Oh, I am here. Um, I guess I'm gonna turn down the music slightly. And I'm gonna switch over to stream view. Alright. I'm realizing I have not yet adjusted my game maker stuff to the new layout. um I don't know what it is snapping to that, but I guess that works. We don't have to worry about anything else right now. Okay, what else? Okay. So I guess I need to run the game, actually, for one. And it's gonna take a while to compile once again. Because it's doing the first compile for the session. Always takes a bit longer. Yeah, we're gonna take this sort of run to more or less like just get a refresher on what the boss is like. Um and of course like set up my captures correctly. For instance, this one is not set up correctly. That's fine. We can have a little bit of a border. But yeah, so then we have... Yeah. So, I gotta be careful to remember this. We're going into this specific fight, not not the one next to it. The one next to it is, spoilers. Final boss spoilers. So, I am not gonna go there. I also, like, redid the colors for this, but I still don't really like it. I'm gonna have to mess with it more at some point. I accidentally went in here with a weapon, but that is okay. So yeah, that's all not too bad. This sort of just teaches you the gimmick here. Then it reuses the gimmick here. Ow. Ow. Oh yeah, I forgot I also have a different special. Let's just turn both of these off. Um, let's see. Oh, that's spoilers. I almost forgot. That is okay. I can, like, cut that out of the VOD. um, I guess I also probably should just change what it, like, hovers over to, just to avoid that in the future. Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's like, it's just the name of the boss. I don't care. You know what? You get that for free. You can learn the name of the boss, the final boss. Okay, I am really struggling to click these targets. Okay, we can retry that. I really am sucking right now. That's okay, we just don't get hit again. Ow. Okay, well, we got that without getting hit. Mostly, I just want to get to the part where the boss speeds up. 'Cause I know that currently it looks a bit buggy. Whenever we do get there. So here we don't have to worry too much. This attack is just about looping around. Okay, there it goes. It does like that little jitter. No, honestly, like I might just leave that in there because it looks kind of. It's a bit foreboding, like it's a bit creepy looking. Whoops. Well, we're basically gonna visually design that. Which, to do that, I'm actually gonna hop into Fire Alpaca. Which is something I've never done on stream. So, this is gonna be new territory. Yeah, let's see. Let me make sure I save this as well. Okay. So then we're going to add... let me just hide my game and Godot catches just to be straightforward. Gonna do a window capture. Gonna add a Fire Alpaca. There we go. Yeah, okay. And then we adjust this. Put this below a bunch of other stuff. Particularly below the overlay. Alright, and then we just... okay. I mean, we could set it out like that, or we could... oh, okay. Urbius seems really insistent that I lay it out like this. So I guess that's what we're doing. Fun. Alright. Don't have to tell me twice. Yeah, now you should be able to see me drawn. Yep. Okay, so... there is a thing in particular I was thinking of in terms of, like, the segments. So I was almost thinking, if I do... there's these enemies in the Elden Ring DLC that are kind of close to this. It's like the Winter Lanterns. Yeah, so like I was almost thinking something kind of like the Winter Lantern head, but like as like a segment instead. Yeah. We can just kind of like carve this out just to be a bit easier to see. There we go. Yeah, so I was almost thinking something kind of like that. We have like take the shape tool. Basically just make each segment like a circle. Oh, okay, this automatically snaps it already. Then you've got like these sorts of like wavy things. Like sort of form them into like different shapes. That kind of looks like a Pokeball. I'm not gonna let that just sit. Then you'd kind of have to round off everything. Round this. Have to like round this. It just kind of becomes like a series of like round shapes. Like that, almost. So we'd sort of create this like mesh looking texture. Trying to like round everything. And then once we've done that, we kind of go in with like a smaller thing. We like continue to create further divides. Now, I guess the only problem with this is going to be kind of hard to create in pixel art. We're effectively having to do this in like a pixel art sort of style. Then we'd like round it off again. Like this. Oh, I guess we have to turn down the brush again. Just sort of take away the jagged edges. Like these more, I don't know what you'd call them, like convex looking shapes. So we're gonna round this off as well. Let's take away all of the jaggedness. Not really much else to say. We're just kind of walking away at this. Yeah, we're kind of using this as like a sort of reference. Like, not exactly. Like, it is not intended to be like a one-to-one copy or anything of the sort. It's meant to be derivative. So yeah, we got sort of this effect. Which once again, of course, would be like pretty hard to convey in pixel art. So that's sort of the only problem with this sort of a design for the segments. And also get rid of that, we don't need it anymore. So yeah, that's one option. What else do we have? I mean, so you could go with something, I guess, a bit more like serpent or like caterpillar looking, I guess. So we could go more so with something like this. We could also give this some like different um some like different like form features. So we could mess with having like bobs for an example. Something kind of like this. I kind of wonder, should we maybe just start them like this? This kind of looks like the extreme demon icon from Geometry Dash. That was not intentional. Yeah, still, you got sort of the idea. We can just add, like, additional spikes. I guess, so that's like an option. I don't know, we may be able to have like a combination of both. So if I like copy and paste this. And these sort of like come to form parts of like this thing. Sort of like that. Then we could like expand them out as necessary. Like they don't even have to be like symmetrical necessarily. Actually quite liking this sort of like spiked with this sort of look. Like round this off a little bit more. So yeah, like this could be a visual design for the segments. So I guess the main con of this is like I don't know how I would connect the legs necessarily. Because this is going to need legs. That is an important feature. Or will likely need legs. Speaking of which, we could look at a bunch of different leg styles. So, like, I was thinking initially, like, something kind of simple like this. It's like a style of leg. Like, we just fill that in. There we go. That's a leg. That's a bug leg. It's like, oh, we can, if I do this, we can attach it to any one of these. It kind of just works. Like, that's initially what I was thinking. Like, we just have legs like that. But we could also try some, like, you know, like, different sort of things. So we could add, like, spikes. Once again, that could be kind of difficult to do with pixel art, but I don't know, it could be worth it. We could add, like, spikes like this. We could make it, like, kind of hairy looking almost. Give it, like, bobs. We could make it, like, more jaggy, I guess. So, like, maybe... actually, we can just kind of get rid of this. We would make it more jaggy, so you got, like, a... like, almost a this sort of thing. It's, like, kind of fucked up looking leg. Could be fun. It doesn't look that jagged because I have, like, correction on. Yeah, like, this could be a type of leg that we do. Something kind of fucked up looking like that. Like, bring this out. Oops. Oops. Yeah, that could be a fun way to make the legs. We could potentially do something more along the lines of, like, little legs. Like, little tendrils, maybe. That's like a millipede looking thing I was thinking of. Sort of like that. You'd have, like, a whole row of them. That's like another style of leg we could do. Little centipede sort of legs. This Catalurn gives you nightmares. Welcome in. Crab. Good to see you. So I guess you're not good at the moment. Uh, well, what's wrong? You're not sick or anything? You're just dying. Damn, that's unfortunate. What from? Oh, heat. Fair enough. Yeah, heat can definitely be really rough. That is a concern for sure. Sweating bricks. Hmm. That's understandable. It's 100-ish Fahrenheit there, Jesus. Yeah. 40 degrees, yeah. That's okay. I operate in Celsius as well, so yeah. That is that is really fucking hot, for sure. Alright, what are some other like legs we could do? Um, so we could have something sort of like this. What if we did the spider thingy from Doom Eternal? Maybe. The arachnid thing. I've never seen that. Let me look this up. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that could be good. It's like sort of a this sort of thing. That's actually not a bad idea here as well, because like there isn't a lot of space on like the sides. So that actually could work pretty well. I feel like we could almost combine like these two and just have like really mini little legs. So we create like a this sort of thing. We could like place this on it. I mean, that's probably a little bit too small, but I guess it sort of gets the point across. Hmm. We have options. We can sort of close this off and fill it in just to be a little bit more easy to just copy and paste. Sort of like sculpt out. I kind of like using this as a base. I look up the Hell Knight since you mentioned it. Cacademon's arms or Pain Elemental's limbs. We'll check out both of those as well. Yeah, that is a good point actually. We could it would be a pretty creepy to have like I guess like we could almost give them Look at the cocodemon. We could give them like little grippers. Like that. You just like fill this in. Oh. We could put this over here. You know, I almost kind of like that, like having them shuffle on like little limbs. Our only problem is that it'd be kind of hard to convey in pixel art. It's definitely an idea. I mean, honestly, in general, now that I think about it, what if each of these little segments was like a hand? So we could like put the thumb here. We could have index. Like each of these are like actually fingers. Or the Doom Hunter from Doom Eternal. This is a lot of ideas. I will try to take all of these into account. There is only so fast that I can walk. So I guess we have this as a potential idea, so we'd have like the hand. So yeah, we have like little hands as an option. Kind of interesting. Um, could also. All right, let me look up the pain elemental. Okay, so that's kind of what we were doing before. But like we could have kind of like the idea of maybe combining this with like sort of this like talon looking thing. And that looks a little bit odd. Um, I think I've just drawn it badly, but I feel like that could be kind of cool though. Kind of like adding the nails there. The Khan Makir. Let's look that up. Oh, Khan Maker. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, that's sort similar to the limbs we were doing before. Like right now I'm mostly just looking for legs in particular. Like legs or arms that we could use for a segmented creature. Look up Doom Hunter. Makes the ball fly around like the skull thing so the pain elemental spawns in. So like the thing is here, we're kind of making a segmented creature. So like these are each going to be a segment, which is why I'm sort of looking at more so like the legs. Yeah. I still do kind of like the idea of having like low things like that. That's kind of spooky looking. I think he's legs from a tunnel. We'll look at that in a second. Let me do this. I'm gonna flip this around. Definitely liking this sort of design for the legs. We'll still look at the other thing you suggested in a second. I think this is pretty cool. Yeah, that is an option. Uh, we'll look at pinkies. Okay, I kind of see that. Not sure how well that would work on like a more like caterpillar looking thing, but yeah. If it's a caterpillar-like thing, it could be like the burn serpent from Terraria. Perhaps. I do kind of like the idea of it having limbs, though. Uses its ribs to move. Yeah, yeah. That is an option. I definitely like the arms there. I think I'm gonna settle on this. Well, the Eater of Wilds, yeah. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to have legs, but I kind of like this design for it. Yeah, I think this is kind of cool. Now, that is going to be a lot to animate, but aren't necessarily minded, I suppose. Now, another thing we should consider here specifically, it's like there would also be some going from like behind. Is it a boss? Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a boss. Is there going to be phases to it, like Nameless Deity or Noxus? So I can actually show you the boss itself. The boss fight is already finished. So if I hide Fire Alpaca, we can go to here. It's basically gonna be this boss. Yeah, so it does have sort of like phases. Yeah. Devour of Gods PTSD is kicking in. Yeah, a little bit. I feel like I'm getting hit by these when I shouldn't be. I may need to adjust the hitbox on these. Yeah, these are kind of too big, honestly. These hitboxes. I would like for you to be two smaller on every side. But yeah, so that's gonna be the boss. It's like segmented with like attacks. It's like going to be a second phase to make it shed all of its skin and make it faster. So I do have some maybe good news for you, depending on how you look at it. So it does, in fact, if I start this up again, I'm gonna go in with a weapon just to make it a bit easier to get further in the fight. Yeah, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna unlock this just to get like a bit of extra health as well. We should be able to get farther into the fight this time. Whatever. See, it also has this sort of tracking fire attack. Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily shed its skin, but it does have a phase where it starts to move faster. So yeah, now it's moving faster. So it does this. Speeds up even more. As this attack, which this might be my favorite attack, actually. It's really flashy looking. And then this is the final attack, which this one is honestly just kind of cruel. Because that lost attack, you actually have to just outlast it. If I go all the way back here. Like if I cheat my earn boss. Yeah, this attack you literally just have to survive. You do not get targets to make it pass faster. Like, you just actually have to be a baller. I've almost done it without getting hit. Ah, damn it. But yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah. But that's the lost attack. You actually just have to outlast the entire thing. It's brutal. Search up the extra bosses for Terraria Calamity. I've played Calamity. I know what you're talking about. I know, so, like, I know Thanatos doesn't have limbs. I think it's Ares that you'd be thinking of. Yeah. It had beams of light like Devour of Gods to make it a tad bit harder. Just start spamming randomly put laser beams. I mean, I feel like it's already hard enough as is, honestly. Like, it's pretty insane. Like, I haven't really grinded it out yet, to be honest. Like, this is sort of like the first iteration of like the full boss fight. So I may have to adjust the difficulty or whatever. But more or less my policy with difficulty in this game is that I am only gonna put things in that I can no-hit. I feel like that is relatively fair. If I can no-hit something, then a blind player should be able to just beat it. That's more or less my policy. So at some point I'm gonna have to no-hit this fight, which is fun. But I do it to prove that it's possible. Yeah, anyway, that's more or less like the fight that we're designing. So if we go here... So that's sort of why each of these is like a segment, you know? So I kind of like... If I take this from here, do that, paste this here. We do same thing here. Copy this, paste that, hide these. So we can kind of mess with this a little bit more. I just want to double check how this actually looks. If we were to... I mean, for one, I guess we should duplicate this and flip it to the other side. Yeah, so this is gonna be like each segment, I suppose. So I want to just quickly double check how this would look. Okay, so I forgot to color in anything. We can just... Let's do that just to be thorough. Yeah, that should all be good, I suppose. Wanna double check that I have everything filled in here. For a last second, then the fighter should just implode, releasing an unholy amount of attacks. There's great cats things that shoots out. Spams lasers, large damage circles, and lots of lasers. It would be funny, but I'm still trying to keep it somewhat reasonable. We'll see. Something I was honestly considering doing is making like different targets for it. And like making it so that if you time out an attack, the targets will explode into like a huge attack. Something I was considering. Yeah, so I suppose if we duplicate this, we bring this down, and now we can duplicate this as much as we want. So it'd sort of look a bit like this. If we were to add the segments to it. Which I guess it's a bit, like, visually noisy, but... Maybe we could have it so that only every second one has, like, the spikes. I actually kind of like that idea. Probably worth doing. Make different difficulties. Make it so that the hardest difficulty just resets you from the start of the boss fight. Die to it the last few seconds. Yeah, so I guess there aren't really difficulty modes per se. So like technically the game is already out. I'm just working on like the last update. There is like an easy mode per se, but it's not really like fully integrated. Um you sort of start on like the default normal mode, but easy mode doesn't let you unlock anything. If I can get the game, it is in the about section on in the stream. It is called Endless Bullet Heaven on Steam. So yeah, you can play it at any time. I will say the other fights aren't as good as any of the later ones. Essentially, I've been working on this game for a really long time, and a lot of yeah, a lot of like the earlier content isn't like super great, just because I was less skilled when I made it. Now I've gotten much better to where I can sort of make a super boss. Forgot what the name of the game was. It's Endless Bullet Heaven. Once again, there is also just a link on the stream about me. Okay. So yeah, we could hang on. I believe this is all aligned. Nope. Yeah, whatever. We just fill this in manually. You're playing the game tomorrow while you stream, because yes, I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy it if you do check it out. Oh god. Then we sort of need a different thing for this. Actually, we could just, like, manually fill all of these. So I guess what we kind of need is the legs to go, like, a bit further up as well. Like this. So that's just gonna be like an added detail we can put on it. Oops. I don't think we have to worry too much about this. So we're gonna pick that off. We're gonna hide all this. We're gonna move this over. We're gonna move all of this over. We can save this first of all. Oof. So then I guess we could... I mean, for one, I'm gonna get rid of this, just so that we can separate it out. Actually, no, let's not do that. We create a duplicate. We hide the old duplicate. Then we press delete. Now we can just kind of move these around as we need. I'm gonna put this in a folder. Just gonna call it, like, filling. That's what it is, essentially. Gonna pull these out. Yeah, so now we can kind of see if we do this. Can move this over. Okay. Okay, so these are all still intact in this layer. Actually, we shouldn't merge these yet. We need to duplicate. Need to flip. Need to duplicate. Bring this up here. So we have this as sort of like an example of the leg layout. We can also take this over here. Oh, hang on. Apparently, it was sort of like a bit more down. Okay. Then I'm just gonna refill in all of this. I'm not gonna bother recopying this. Gonna duplicate this, hide this. Bring it. Both of these over here. I suppose we need to move this one further up. There we go. Now we have a convenient segment to use for this. Now this is gonna be behind that. Okay, I suppose... No, we actually need one of these. This should be at, like, the back. Have this. We'd have this again. All the way at the front. Hmm. There's still a bit too much visual clutter, I feel. I mean, maybe when it's immersion, it won't really matter as much. Hmm. Sort of trying to think of if this is good or not. I mean, I guess it doesn't help that in the top image, it doesn't seem to be arranging them correctly in a weird way. Like, I think as long as we actually create like a front segment for it, it'll be fine. Also, I'm realizing I forgot to do something quickly. Hang on. Okay. I mean, I guess perhaps, like, at times they're gonna be a bit more sparse in the actual game anyway. And okay, here's a potential idea. We sort of switch around the order a little bit. So like then we get this segment. We bring this to the front actually. This segment. We roughly line it up. Now, in terms of what I want to do with the lost segment, I was thinking of potentially having the boss still be somewhat resembling a person, since that is what every other boss in the game is. So then we bring this up. Of course, this is kind of very rough. Probably should just do this in a different layer. Just to be sure. Hmm. I just feel like we should do something like that instead. Instead of making it white, we sort of go the opposite direction. Hmm. We sort of bring them down like this. So they're gonna be like connected at the shoulder instead. This is kind of funny. Hmm. Kind of a bit too goofy looking. Or when I do this, it almost kind of looks like a smile. That's kind of fun. Could do this as like an eye as well. I feel like that kind of works. Still not quite sure. It's like this is an option. Save this just because. I feel like what we could almost do is like we could make the lost segment like quite a bit bigger. Like that. Then we could have then we could sort of have a person looking thing. The idea is for them to be almost like whatchamacallit, like a centaur looking thing. Except maybe they're gonna have no arms. So they already have a bunch of, like, legs. Maybe we just leave them with no arms. We're gonna give them probably same hair as Brace. It's like this sort of a thing. Hmm. Yeah, I still don't know about this. Put these in a folder. So we can just hide it all. I want to look at something as like a reference. Hmm. Sorry for being kind of quiet. I'm still trying to figure out how exactly I want to connect this. I guess we sort of have the limbs like that. I guess. So the thumb would be like this way. Fingers would be here. Hmm. And here she'd have like a staff or something. Let's see. I am locking in. I think we've got something we can work with. Even if I haven't necessarily drawn it in the best way currently. Kind of like the idea of having a drape like this. She also doesn't really have an outline. Not outline, she doesn't really have a color yet, but that is okay. His hand is kind of goofy looking, but eh, who cares? This is just a sketch, essentially. Make the shoulders less broad. Now, the only problem with connecting a head, or like a body and head to this, is that this takes up a lot of space. Like a lot of screen space. Hmm. Like, if we look at her like this, like, that is a lot of space taken up by just her torso, her, like, upper half. We may need to reduce the amount of her that there is. Like, make her a little bit smaller. Still gonna... I suppose we should make another folder of this. Call this variant 2. Okay, there we go. We don't have to worry too much about being precise here. I don't really care. This is just meant to be like a sketch sort of thing anyway. We're just trying to actually figure out the character design. I'm gonna create another layer here. Just to apply some of these things. So yeah, that definitely does connect like decently well. Like obviously this isn't really a finalized design for her. Like it at least sort of gives me an idea of the layout. Like honestly, I could even take her as low as like here. Hmm. So yeah, we can still have a bee there. We just have to make her a bit smaller. Yeah, at some point we kind of just gotta pull the trigger on this, so... I am okay with this being like a first concept for the boss. I could even bring the bangs down a little bit. Especially since this doesn't even have our colors yet. Man, I'm already feeling tired. I mean, I guess we could start drawing this in a sprite. Like, that could be a thing that we do. I don't know. So we can just get rid of that. Oh. I'm gonna hide this. I need to use it as a reference. And instead, I'll open this. How big are these currently? Yeah, 128 by 128. Okay. I'm gonna take this into A Sprite. Gonna... Alright. Gonna make a 3 wide outline. I mean, that's not really a 3 wide outline. We would actually do... And I feel like this is probably not necessary. Like doing the outline like this. Because, I mean, ultimately, I feel like most of the outline is going to be filled out anyway. Like, if we're doing it how we drew it, then, like, the real outline's going to be pretty far in. Like, for instance... We've got this, and like this is probably going to be a bit more accurate to form. Yeah. I think maybe this is the best we can do on like the outline. We're gonna create a new layer. Get straight to dividing this into more parts. I mean, honestly, there is another way I could do this. Hang on. I'm gonna get something ready here. Because, like, if I hide this, create a new file, do this, we do this on all sides. Okay, now I can show this. So, like, we can potentially just resize this as is and just save ourselves the effort. Our only problem is we're gonna have to get rid of the alpha layers. So, I guess the easiest thing to do be to just... I don't think contrast does anything to the alpha channel. But I think if we do this, not this, what is it? Control U. We can just crank up the alpha a bunch of times. That should eventually show every bit of alpha channel. Good thing I know the shortcut for this. I'm gonna do it a few more times just to be safe. Do this a couple more times. And just to be extra sure, we're gonna fill that. Okay, yeah, there's no alpha channel left. Cool. And then we can just scale this down. That should give us a solid basis for our actual sprite. This is 128, so we're gonna resize it down to the 128. We're gonna use bilinear. Oh, not bilinear. We're gonna use nearest neighbor. That's it. Yeah, there we go. That gives us the non-blood lines. Non-blood shapes. There we go. Now our only problem is I think that messes with the circle. Apparently this circle is slightly taller than it is wide. So we're gonna have to do something weird here. Okay. So we can now make these a bit more rounded. Drake's cost lives on. What have I done? What happened? Fast Oil is now the Canadian soccer team. Drake. Oh. Mean that Drake. Okay. Drake bet 500,000 on Oilers and they lost. Now he bet 200,000 on the soccer team. Interesting. Lost 2 Earth to Argentina. Interesting. That does seem pretty cussed. That's why Drake needs to be banished. Well, now all you need to do is just bet on whatever he doesn't bet on. It's just an infinite money glitch. The Canadian, you have your sports team? Yeah, but infinite money though. Why pass up infinite money glitch? Simply be a gamer. Hmm. Canada is cooked. Literally cooked. That's unfortunate to hear. Or now that I look at this, I like how all of these each kind of form like a face. I have this face, this face, this face, this face, this face, and this face. Now, I am gonna leave this one here, just because. Still kind of funny, though. Winter it reaches -60, sometimes -70 Celsius. In the summer it reaches 40 to 45 degrees. Jesus. That's definitely really extreme. I can't imagine being in like -60. Like, I don't know, man. When I wake up in the morning and it's like 21 degrees in my room, I'm freezing. I'm Australian, so like anything below 20 is like freezing to me. Like an entire like 80 degrees more in that direction is kind of unfathomable. I think I would literally just die. Like, not even kidding. I'm not adapted to survive those temperatures. I think I would actually just straight up die. I feel like that's something you have to sort of just get used to. I'm gonna save this. They're coming to Canada in the winter, even though it looks beautiful. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be able to go to Canada just because of how cold it is. Once again, I think there is like no chance I would survive that. It'd be fucking rough. For sure. Um, okay, hang on. I need to quickly pick the color that I'm using for this. Oh, whoops. Good thing I wasn't streaming the game, because I accidentally just spoiled the final boss by going into the wrong boss fight. And oh yeah, there we go. I know that it's not visible on stream. I'm quickly doing something to pick the color. But now I can go here, pick this, dirt save. Alright, now I can bring a sprite back. But yeah, I don't know if I'll ever go to Canada. I mean, it's also just a really long way away, you know? Oh, hang on. Hmm. Okay, so for the legs, I just kind of got an idea. Like, what if we just have them in, like, a flying pose? So I don't even have to bother, like, actually animating them to do anything much. Like, I could just have them dangling. That'd be so much easier. We could just sort of have them dangling down. Sort of like this. I mean, this is a little bit on, like, the longer side. I don't think they should be this long, but the basic idea is still there. That kind of looks sort of right. We need to compress this a little bit more. A little bit more that way. Someone in Ichisawa accused you of being a homosexual and proceeded to call you a bunch of homophobic stuff. She thought it was funny, then got smited by a mod. I remember seeing the aftermath of that. Like, it was really weird. Like, I didn't see it while it was happening, so I was like kind of lost looking at the aftermath. But yeah, I did hear about that. That was odd, for sure. Made a jerk. That was it? Like, that's what set it off? Damn. Yeah, some people definitely have very thin skin, so to say. Even something like that can set them off. Hulser then tried to accuse you of harassing him. Crazy, honestly. That's quite something. Good thing that got dealt with, though. For that, he said just be petty, then said he was depressed. Weird. Yeah, it's definitely a very odd case. Yeah, strange, odd person on Discord. Who would have thunk it? Okay. We're gonna put this like here. It's gonna be under everything. Miss you going live, about to go to bed, but you'll leave your stream up to work while you sleep. Hey, that's much appreciated. That's all good. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna end soon anyway, just because I'm very... I don't know, I'm very tired. I get... When I'm playing something like Elden Ring, I can stream for like 5 hours. When I'm doing... When I'm doing more like... work-related stuff, I have like a very short attention span, honestly. Like, I kind of need to take breaks. Like, even going to like 3 hours can be very mentally taxing for me. So I'll probably be ending here in a second, but... That's all of us? I guess, yeah. Like, I don't know, it's kind of the thing where, like... You know, I would feel fine ending it at like 3 hours just because, or like even less. But the problem is that if I end like too soon, then I feel like people get the impression that I'm not working on the game. When the reality is that, like, you know, in a case like this, I'll like do this work, I'll get like really exhausted. Um, then like off the stream, I'll like end stream. I will play games for like a second and like just decompress a bit. But then like later on, I'll continue working on the game. So like that doesn't really lend itself super well to like a stream schedule. So usually whenever I work on the game like later on, I just don't really stream it. But I'm still like working on the game. So I don't know, it's weird. I don't want to give people the impression that it's just like, you know, I do 3 hours of work on the game in the day and then I'm like, yep, that's it. I've done my part. I'm definitely working. Like, no, I am working actively. I just also need breaks, you know? That can be difficult to balance. Might do an 8-ish hour stream tomorrow. Fair enough. I mean, good luck with that. My longest has been around like 5.5 hours, I want to say. And like that was of course while doing like the Elden Ring DLC. I almost am tempted to start up like a new Elden Ring DLC playthrough just to like sort of run it back and try to learn the game a bit better. Or like a bit more. Last time your stream crashed midway because you had 5 games running in the back. That's understandable. Yeah, I would. I typically don't do that for that exact reason. Running a lot of games can be rough. All of which was Snake and a little screensaver which you forgot to turn off. That's fair. We're gonna export this in a second just to see how this looks. We should be able to export that there. Okay, so we can close that. Close that. Game Maker captures. What's this modified to? It's just ellipse. Okay. To me, loading this won't be visible on screen yet. Pretty much just have to do this off camera because Game Maker is kind of weird with capturing this specific window. I guess I can increase this a little bit. Okay, I believe That's good. Okay. Well, this is kind of cool looking already. Yeah, you can kind of get a glimpse at the arms while it's chasing you. It's really cool. All right. Ow. Ow. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good though. Um, I guess of course the next thing to do would be to add the horns and whatever. We could. I feel like we could still do that. That'll be the last thing that we do this stream though, because I am already rapidly losing my attention span for this. So let me get a sprite back up. So we need this to be around. How much would it be? I don't know. I'm just gonna increase this to some number. Sure. Then we increase this to 200. Whatever, sure. We will take those. Probably do this at least 2. Now the only problem is this is kind of hard to see on this background, so we're gonna add a layer just to change the transparency background. It's something like highly contrasting. There we go. That is so much easier to draw on. Okay, so we have that spike. So kind of just adding on the same horn things from before. Like this one doesn't really fit quite yet. That's better. Hmm. Hmm. So I guess then the next one we do is like over here. These spikes are definitely turning out a bit shorter than the ones from the old drawing. That is okay, I guess. Like, honestly, I guess they don't need to be that big anyway. We can, like, adjust them further later if needed. I feel like I want to round this off a little bit better. Even just that feels a bit better to me. And I feel like this is okay already. We're gonna outline this with red for now, just so that we can more easily remove the outline from this section. Because the only purpose of this outline is to just give it an outline, this like little outside bit. So we're gonna just do this. Okay, that is outlined. And then we basically just remove, or I guess we would, first of all, we would copy all of this. We'd stick this in a new layer. Whoops. So like, basically go across here and across here. We do that. But we could actually indent it by one just because I feel like it's easier that way. Okay, so all of these red bits are the outline as they should be. Yeah, we can now finalize that outline. And we're also going to make them pointy. Where it is appropriate. Of course, these are meant to be spikes. Hmm. This doesn't need to be, like, totally even either. I'm just sort of approximating. Yeah, that's fine. There are still a couple more of these little things, just from the back instead. We go behind this. We have a little bit these like back spikes. Okay, and then these we can just give it an outline as usual. I believe it's Shift O is the shortcut for this. There we go. So if we want to hide all of the horn features, we just do that. If we want to show them, we do that. I think that's suitable. I'm gonna make this 200 just so that it's easier to center this. Same here. I'm gonna overwrite this just because it's a bit easier that way. Now, if we are into Game Maker, we can sort of test out this new one. Yeah, I need to remember not to go into the spoiler. Okay. There we are. Yeah, this is with the horns, which not all of them are gonna have. Not all of the segments will have that. So far, this has been a nerf hit. That's good. Maybe I'm actually getting better at the fight. Ah. Unfortunate, but... Ow. There we go. We beat it. But obviously... obviously with some issues. I suppose that's not the point anyway. That was just supposed to be a visual test. And I think it looks pretty cool. It's obviously not finished yet, but... I think that is good enough for now. My attention span is rapidly running out. So we're going to go find somebody to raid, potentially. Depends if there's anyone still here, really. As usual, I do not want to raid someone if I only have myself. Well, I mean, we could go raid Ichi. I think Ichi's doing something. Yeah, alright, we can go raid Ichi. I'm sure he won't mind. Normally I wouldn't raid if it's just myself, and I think it is just myself, but... yeah. If it is more than just myself, then I am fine. Fine to raid anyone, but if it's just myself, I would only raid like a friend. Because some people don't like getting one viewer raids. Because they think it's attention seeking, but no, Ichi is a friend. I'm happy to go raid him. Yeah, that's the raid message if anyone is here. You don't have to post it or anything if you don't want to. I'm gonna be there anyway. I'm gonna post it anyway. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow doing basically the same thing. We'll be doing more spriting. We're gonna be trying to get this boss, like, visual design kind of finished. Yeah, hopefully that should be more bearable. I don't know. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, same time as today, and let's go raid Ichi. Yeah, bye-bye everyone. Thank you.